Thanks for joining Sales with Suli, a mom of three who spent the last 12 summers knocking doors. Welcome to my podcast where I talk about all things women, the ups and downs of my journey, and what it takes to find success on and off the doors. Enjoy this episode. Welcome back. So today I kind of wanted to talk about a topic that seems to be ongoing from my very first summer on the doors of 13 summers ago to now. I know a couple of things that we as female reps that we struggle with on the doors is going to be anxiety. And over the last probably 3 weeks, I've received like an overwhelming amount of like questions and just like different stories and topics that some of you guys had reached out to me about, just kind of like how I overcome different things. And as I try to be super vulnerable and authentic about kind of some of the struggles that I'm currently having. I remember when I first got out on the doors, 13 summers ago, as a new rep in the industry, having no experience on the doors, it was super, super hard to mentally focus like on the doors. I was always questioning my success. I was always questioning my team leaders, questioning whether or not I was going to be able to make a sale. And as some of you guys like asked me different things that has helped me, it just kind of reminded me of like some of the experiences and some of the times that I have like fallen so flat on my face because I wasn't humble enough to kind of ask for help. I definitely wasn't humble enough to kind of like take some advice from other women who were struggling with the same things that I was on the doors. But one of the things that I do want to talk about today is kind of how I do manage anxiety, how I do manage my emotions on the doors, how I do manage the unknown, and those days where I've had just a rough day. And one of the things that I want to do is kind of like bring up some of your guys' some of the questions and some of the things that some of you girls had messaged me or texted me, just so that other girls in the industry can know like, hey, we're not alone. We are definitely different creatures, but when we manage our emotions, when we manage our time, when we manage just the things that we can control, it's going to help us be better women. It's going to help us to be better knockers. It's going to help us to be better sisters, to be better mothers, to be better friends. One of the comments that I had gotten recently was, hey, sorry to bother you. And again, any of you guys who reach out to me know that you guys are never bothering me. Like, I love being able to get some of the questions and some of the things that you guys do, because at the end of the day, what I'm trying to see more of in this industry is how much more successful we can be when we're truly helping each other. When we're finding people on and off the doors, women that we don't know, and actually like giving them advice that'll help them or tips that's going to strengthen them, it's only going to strengthen yourself as well. So one of the comments that came to me recently, I do need some advice, and it's aside from the doors, but it's impacting how I work in a way. I'm always in fight mode due to my anxiety. My heart is always racing and I'm always in a panic mode, it seems like. But no one else would know because I hide it so well, but it's killing me. I was taking anxiety medicine, but when my folks sent it to me from back home, it was stolen. When it was delivered, I believe. I've been without it for over a month now, and my body was going through withdrawals. Anyways, I'm pushing through that and have a better hold on that now. I miss my grandmother so bad and it hurts. She is my main why. She's that chip on my shoulder that always pushes me. But today I came home early from the doors, not because I wanted to be weak-minded, but so that I can hit whatever is going on in my mind straightforward. I'm not just laying around, but writing out how to combat my anxiety to finish the summer strong. I feel like everything that I went through as a child and up to this point is all hitting me all at once. I know that me coming off the doors are potential sales that I could have made today, but my sanity means more to me. And if I want to finish the summer strong, I have to hit it head on and figure out how to overcome those triggering spots. So this won't happen again. I've never went through this before, and I'm learning how to get through this while still giving my all on the doors. Even when I'm throwing up numbers on the doors, I can't get rid of this pain that I feel. I pray constantly. I hated coming off the doors today because it made me feel like a complete failure. It made me feel so weak. I can never ever cry or let out how I feel because I'm always around those I work with or on the doors. Today I had to come back and pray. I had to be alone. Taking my lunch today, I was watching training videos and praying. Couldn't stop crying. And then finally told myself to stop trying to fake that everything is okay and do what needs to be done to help me push through this and have a great season. When I first started 13 summers ago, this girl was a complete replica of me. The company that I started with is definitely, I can add a lot of my success to, but we were drilled and instilled that if you're not on the doors, you are not successful. If you are not knocking, if you are not just getting out there no matter what and just putting the time on the doors, like you internally felt like you were doing something wrong for yourself, for your team, for your company, and for everyone around us. And I had this same mantra for year after year after year. I would judge people who left the doors early. I would judge people who wasn't working as hard as I thought that they should be working. And it wasn't until these last few years before giving birth to my youngest son that I started to do internal work on myself and like realizing how important for us as like female reps to be able to take the time that we need for ourselves. Like a lot of times we get into that fight or flight mode where we're just like, we just have to knock, it's gonna fix everything. It's true to a sense. If we as women aren't taking the times to truly focus on who we are individually, the doors are going to mean nothing. You are legitimately going to go on the doors and basically waste area. You are going to go and just waste a day with your car partner. Like I am such a big believer this year on how important it is on being able to work on our mental space. And a lot of the girls that I work with individually, one of the biggest things that I feel like has helped me to find success and to be able to overcome my anxiety is to only focus on the things that you can control. What time are you waking up each morning? Like, what does your morning routine look like? What time are you touching your first door? How many doors are you knocking? What time are you knocking till? What is your attitude like throughout like each day? What are your thoughts? What are you eating? What are the types of books that you're reading? These are all things that we can control, but we cannot control who's going to be opening the doors. We cannot control our car partners. We cannot control our team leaders. We can't control anything outside of like us as individuals. And for me, as a lot of you guys are reaching out about different obstacles and different traumas that you guys are having as you guys are some of the traumas from like growing up and how it's kind of affecting you guys on the doors. That was one of the biggest things for me. I feel like I used to be this like, I would just like suppress all of my feelings all the time. It was all about like doors, like how many doors I'm going to be knocking, how many sales that I'm going to be getting, that I never took the time to actually work out my problems that I was having outside the doors. I never took the time to work out the trauma that I had as a child until like my adult life. And because I didn't take the time to actually go to therapy, do the work, find the healing for my mental space, I felt like I left a lot on the table these last, I don't know, I feel like 10 years of knocking could have been a lot more success numbers wise had I took the time to actually do the work internally that I'm kind of like begging a lot of you female reps to do. Like if you guys are taking the time for yourself, like there are going to be days where you don't want to be on the doors. There are going to be times where you are emotionally distraught and you are going through so much and you feel like that the only way that you can control that is by going out, being on the doors, doing whatever it is that our team leaders are asking us to do, when in reality, some of the things that we do need to do is take out time. Basically make the time for yourself each day where you're going to be focusing on your mental health, where you're going to be focusing just kind of like on your routine, like doing something for you. And I know that as we take the time to get into podcasts, get into books, get into therapy, get into exercise, get into whatever makes you happy, like as a person, you're gonna see the success on the doors. Another one that I had gotten in the last couple weeks was, "Hey, Suli, I know you're super busy with your own life and sales and everything, but yesterday was my first day on the doors. I knocked for about 5.5 hours. It didn't go extremely well, and I'm trying not to beat myself up since it was my first day back. It's just that I've done a lot of training this off season, so I put a lot more pressure on myself to see good results. Anyways, I guess I'm just wondering if you could give me some advice or anything like that." And this is what companies do not realize. Like why women are such amazing assets to companies and to the door-to-door industry, because we give everything our all, like on and off the door. Like this person who sent me this, like I've seen the time and the hours that she puts on the doors. And so when she gets there and the numbers aren't reflecting what the definition of the company's success is, she feels like it makes her less of a person. And I'm here to advocate for all of you female reps who feel like your numbers dictate your success, is basically something that we should be flip-flopping in this industry. Like your attitude, your gratefulness, your mental space, for me, is what has made all the difference in what I find and feel is true success. And so on my bad days, she was asking like some advice that I would definitely give, is sitting, or not even sitting, while you're out there on the doors, in between doors. I remember I was doing this like the summer that I had serviced 1,000 pest accounts. The days that I was having really rough days were the days that didn't look so rough, because I would sit and write out the things that I was grateful for, like whether they were small or tiny. I was like grateful that Bobby Ray had 5 fingers, like grateful that my kids have like a roof over their head, like grateful that I'm in like an industry where like the sky is the limit. Like a lot of times we're so caught up on the numbers. We're so caught up in comparing so much of ourselves to other people's success and to society's definition of success, to our company's definitions of success, that we forget that true success is how we feel about ourselves. True success is what are we accomplishing each day to help us to be better people, like on and off the doors. And I know my definition of success, my first summer to summer 13, has changed dramatically. And I feel like I would have found a lot more success my first few summers had I had a more grateful heart, had I found more reasons to be excited about each day. And so I'm gonna challenge a lot of you girls, those days that you guys are having a rough day, those days that you guys are super anxious, those days where you are comparing, those days where you just feel like the world is gonna be ending, because by all means, I still get those days. I challenge you to just write out a list of things that you're grateful for, whether they're small or big. Like you are alive, you are breathing, you've got a job, you have food, you have a car or a bike or clothes. Like there are so many things, so many little things that we're forgetting to be grateful about, that we kind of just compare our lack of success to numbers. But I want to have, this one was actually from a guy. I was kind of excited. I definitely do have a lot of guys who reach out to you. And he's like, "Hey, Suli, I hope you've had a great weekend. I got to tell you, this past week was my first week knocking again, and I have never wanted to quit so badly. Ha ha ha. Lots and lots of tears, but also lots of good moments. I guess that's part of the joy of this job." And like guys are just as emotional as us. And so I'm super stoked about those team leaders. I'm super stoked about our guy car partners. I'm super stoked about our guy teammates who validate our feelings, because I was one of those who didn't validate my own feelings, that I didn't feel the need to validate other people's feelings. And so for those of you men out there who are taking the time to be a little bit more understanding of the female reps on your team, to be a little bit more kinder to some of those like women leaders like in your company, you do not realize like how much of a difference it's going to make in their emotional and mental space, that they're going to then turn around and continue to bring more success for the company, to bring more success for themselves, as we are finding time to be genuinely kind and attentive. And I know that that's something that I know that I still want to work on with myself. A lot of us women, when we are competing with each other, we're not as kind. And I look back to my first 4 summers where I felt the need to compete with every woman in the industry, in the sense that there's only space at the top for me. There is only space for one winner. And these last few years, shifting that to a mind of abundance, where there is so much space for all of us, men or women, to be at the top. And it's gonna start with how you internally look at yourself. If you love yourself, if you believe in yourself, if you find confidence in yourself, you're gonna bring your car partner up. You're gonna lift your team leader up. You're gonna bring your spouse up. You're gonna lift your siblings up. You are gonna lift everyone around you, because your mind is filled with abundance. And it was definitely something that I had lacked my first few years. And it's kind of something that I hope that we can kind of change in this industry, where we think that we can't give training to this person because they can't find success, where we can't be grateful for this person because we don't want that company to find success, where we can't take the time out of our day to go and help this rep in another industry, because no, there is only space and success for me. There's only space and success for this company. But I'm here to talk about how false that is. Like, this world is meant to be a world of abundance for all of us, and it's going to start with us individually. A couple of things that I do want to end off on as I go over some of my notes is I kind of want to suggest 2 books that I felt like has been made a huge impact in my self-love journey, I guess you can say, or my journey to finding out like who I truly am. It started first with a book called The 4 Agreements. And in this book, it talks about a lot of our impressions, the way that we think, the way that we feel, the way that we are in agreement with things. It comes up from our upbringing. It comes up from our companies. It comes up from our religions. It comes up from our parents, where we allow our point of view in society and life to be dictated by a lot of these things. So I know a lot of times, like us as female reps, you know, we look at the companies that we're in, or we look at society, and we feel like in order for us to be successful, we have to be this way. In order for us to be successful, we have to have this hair color. In order for us to be successful, our teeth has to be whitened. In order for us to be successful, we have to keep up with the men. In order for us to be successful, we have to prove ourselves. But I'm here to say that we're not. For you to find success is for you to love yourself. And I would definitely suggest starting with that book, The 4 Agreements. And then the other book that I truly, truly love, it's called The Miracle Mornings. A lot of people ask me, how was I able to service over 1,000 accounts during the summer? One thing I didn't realize that I was doing before I had read this book was, for about a year straight, I was so adamant about routine. I would be up at 6 a.m. every morning. I would make sure that I took the time to ride my bike, go to the gym, write in my grateful journal, study, listen to podcasts. It was something that I was doing for about 45 minutes to an hour every single morning. And when the last summer of my pest control career had started, it kind of just led to the same thing, where I would be up at 6 a.m. My body was just, I would get up. I figured if I could get a head start on the day, the rest of my day there would be like super successful. And it all just began with me taking the time to actually be mindful of my mornings. And I know a lot of people probably just like roll out of bed, like get their clothes on and just show up to morning meetings. But I was super intentful. I knew that in order for me to have a successful day, I needed to feel good about myself. And for me feeling good about myself, I needed to take that time to find peace, to be able to meditate. And I've realized just in this last month, as I'm still in an industry that I feel like is still super new to me, that I have become super hypocritical on some of the things that had helped me find success. I stopped having my morning routine. I stopped eating well. I stopped getting all the sleep that I needed to get. I felt like I became emotionally available for everyone around me 24/7, that I was forgetting to fill my own cup. Just in these last 6 days, I had this crash of emotional stress that I couldn't even face my reps in the morning. I had no desire to show up to morning meetings, that I felt like I was just having these panic attacks, these anxiety attacks, that anything small that would happen would basically cause me so much drama on the doors. I started being so scared that I wasn't going to be making any sales that day. I started feeling so much pressure throughout each and every day because I did not take those mornings for myself. I did not take the time to set boundaries. And that's what I'm here as a reminder to those of you female reps who are out there struggling, is making sure that you are setting those boundaries for yourself. If you need to take a day off, you are not this unsuccessful person for taking a day for you, for finding time each day to fill your cup. If we can't take the time to fill our own cups, there's no way that we're going to be able to fill the cups of our card partners, of our teammates, of our spouses, of our loved ones, or anyone around us if we're not taking the time to fill our own cup. And I know that these last 3 weeks, as I've not been filling my own cup, that I need to get back to the basics, focus just on the things that I can control, and get back into meditating, get back into having those morning routine. And so for those of you girls out there who are struggling and who are basing your success off of your numbers, just know that I'm here to root for you and say there is so much more to your success. There is so much more to this industry than our stats. There is so much more to this industry than the numbers that we're throwing up. Yes, it's nice. I'm going to be a hypocrite if we're not hey, freaking this girl's number one today. I love when those of you women are sending me your guys' stats and photos with your customers and things like that. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we are here to make money. We are here to knock and to be successful financially. For me, in the last 3 years, the financial success has definitely come second to my personal success. And so my last bit of advice, on this episode, is just to take the time to find success with who you are internally. Once you have accepted who you are, once you have learned to love and enjoy being alone in your own mental space, or you're gonna find joy on the doors. There are times, even right now, just this last week, that I am holy cow, I need to cry. So I will set an alarm on my phone, 10 p.m. when you're at home and no one's around, make sure you cry it out. So I'll go watch a sappy something or whatever, just to cry the whole day out. Be in your feelings, be in your emotions. This is why we as women are successful. We are nurturers. So learn to nurture yourself first so you can nurture those around us. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for taking the time to tune in. If I've added any kind of value to your thoughts on knocking doors, please share this podcast with another female rep. Until next time, know that you are capable, you are valued, and most importantly, you are enough.